now! What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and guess what I just got done watching? Yes, Scream, the MTV TV series. And there's so much that happened, kind of, right? So much happened in this episode. I have a lot of notes that I took down. So let's jump right into it. The episode is entitled Happy Birthday to Me! Another classic horror movie that they were just using the name for because why not? At the beginning of the episode, we see Emma making out with Kieran on the bed. And it's like, okay, this is random, but okay, fine, they're making out. And then the killer just shows up and stabs Kieran. If they were really going to kill Kieran, would it be in this random of a scene? Like, would this be the way you would kill off one of your main characters? Then, she wakes up, it's a dream, but not only is it a dream, she's writing it in, she has a dream journal! Now look, I get it. She's gone through a lot. She went to a mental facility or whatever the fuck it was, and she's seeing things or she's having weird dreams. So maybe it's not that far-fetched that she has a dream journal, but just when she closed the book and it said dream journal, it's like, can't you just have a journal? Audrey wakes up in her bed and she feels something weird on her leg. She looks in the sheet. She gets a text, and it's the corkscrew thing that the killer used to kill the hotel clerk. And he's basically saying, I'm on to you. I like how he calls her a partner. So he's still fucking with her. Now we cut to Emma and her mom and her dad and that bullshit drama that nobody gives a fuck about. Just love seeing them argue with each other. And Emma's mom saying, oh, look, I don't want you here. You're a deadbeat or you're weird and I don't want you around my daughter. And Emma's like, why are you going to be like that, Mom? You just trying to be... Like, how many scenes are we going to get this? And how many episodes? Who gives a fuck? I really don't care about Emma's broken family. Brooke is getting text messages still from Jake's phone, and they're going back and forth. She's still texting him. I mean, man. If Brooke really thinks that this is Jake, and that he really did break up with her in the way that she thinks he did, she's still texting him? Really? She had it bad, apparently. And like, it's like, you were that into Jake? Okay, fine. Of course, he texts her back and says, I want you to beg. Thankfully, she says, I don't beg, because honestly, Brooke, as a character, as a human being, I have lost so much faith in her that I wouldn't have been surprised if she did start begging for this fucker. Weirdo number 2, I don't even care what his name is. They might have said his name in this episode. Hell, I'm sure they've been saying his name. But just, I don't retain his name. It's probably generic, like Bob or Joe or something that's just so forgettable. But when they're in study class and Audrey looks over and he's staring at her. I mean, he's just looking. Hi, I'm not making it obvious that I'm weird and that I could be a fucking killer. So obviously, she's like, okay, if you're going to be that obvious, dude, then I'm going to be obvious taking pictures of you right in front of your fucking face. And she, leaves the room, puts the fire alarm on, everybody leaves. Audrey's smart. I like her. She goes back into the room, she's looking through his stuff, finds the pictures. Apparently, he hasn't only been drawing Emma, bloodied and a knife in her head, but he's been drawing all of them. Every main character of the Lakewood Six, besides Jake, ironically. That's where we cut to kind of the main plot, I guess, of the episode, where Emma is planning a surprise birthday party for Kieran, because Kieran, it's his birthday. That's where the name of the episode comes from. And Kieran, I think he's turning 59-ish or somewhere around there. Because if you're trying to get me to believe that he's still a teenager, no. So originally it was just supposed to be the two of them doing something small, but then Kieran's weirdo cousin I guess, went up to Emma and said, oh yeah, he wants something big. Let's throw a party. So, of course, Emma just falls for it. She doesn't, like, you didn't talk to Kieran already? Don't you know him and know that he wouldn't want a fucking huge party like that? No, you're just going to take this fucking weirdo's word for it. Okay, fine. So they're planning this party, and you see them, you know, putting decorations up and whatnot. And of course, there's a scene where the weirdo cousin is standing on a chair, and I don't know if he fell or if she was stepping up and she almost fell, but point is, they grabbed each other and they got really close to each other. They were face to face. They almost fucking kissed. And when I saw this, I threw my hands up and said, of course this show would not only force feed a love triangle, a random love triangle into this show, because why not? Let's do the most easy device of conflict on this show. But not only that, let's make Emma even more unlikable, if that's possible. Look, I said at the beginning of this season that I was going to try. I was going to try to give this actress a chance, and for the most part, she still sucks. But I was going to try to give this character a chance because she's the main character and she's gone through a lot. And so, like, I'm trying to relate to her. I'm trying to care. I'm trying to understand her motivations and her actions. But when she's talking to Brooke and she tells her about this whole almost kiss thing, and when Brooke says, did you want him to kiss you? And she's like, well, I'm with Karen. His birthday. And Brooke's like, bitch, you didn't answer my fucking question. And Emma has this look on her face like, oh shit, I did want to kiss him. I'm like, you whore! You fucking whore. You have a boyfriend that you guys have gone through all of this long, season 1 long thing of how you guys got together. You just had sex with him. I mean, you're so close, right? But now you're starting to like his fucking cousin? It's not even messed up that she's liking his cousin, because it's his cousin. Like, that's weird, that's wrong on so many levels. But the fact that this dude is as weird as he is, she even said in the last episode, or maybe it was before that he was weird. She said it to your face. You're weird. But she likes him? What? Like, what did he do? What has he said to get her to be interested in him? This show, the writing is so bad that all of these guy characters are all fucking weird, all creepy, all stalkerish, but yet all of these girls like them. I will get to the other one in a minute, because that's not the only one. Now, at this party, okay, everybody's drinking, but then everybody gets sick. I guess the tequila was bad. They all think that it's Jake that left the tequila because his name was signed to it. And then weirdo number 2 is at the party. Why is this dude at the party? Nobody knows him. He's not friends with any of them. He stalks them for the most part. Even Audrey's like, why is this fucking dude here? And they're like, I don't know. Like, did Emma not invite him? If she didn't invite him, did he just walk in? Just like, hey guys, I'm here for the party. Oh, okay, come right into my fucking house. The logic. The only thing that would make any of this make sense is that if weirdo number 2 is the killer and if Kieran's cousin is the killer and that they're working together. It's too obvious because they're both the 2 weirdest people, new cast members on the show. But as this plot's going, I wouldn't be surprised if neither of them is the killer. And the killer is some bumfuck character that we've never met yet. So weirdo number 2, he starts explaining to everybody about this drug, ayahuasca, which is a drug that I have heard about before. I've heard about the symptoms and how fucked up it gets you and it makes you hallucinate. It also makes you shit and puke at the same time. Again, I've only heard this, not first-hand experience. But I've heard about this. Everybody just started hallucinating. And the hallucinations that we got, because you know what? As an idea, that might have been interesting. As an idea to have every character hallucinate, and it's supposed to bring out maybe your fears or your deepest, darkest secrets, and you're going to project that. As an idea, that might have been interesting because you had Brooke, who was seeing weird shit, but then, oh no, look who it is. It's the creeper. he grabs her and he's like, "You look like you can need a hand." Blah, blah, blah. And he basically is about to give her the Bill Cosby, where she's about to pass out. So he brings her to the bedroom. "Oh, it looks like you need to lie down." And he's rubbing her feet, and he's doing all this weird fucking shit, and she's hallucinating. She sees Jake, and Jake, the hallucination, is telling her, "This dude just wants to bone you. Run." He's like, he's trying to warn her. Even Ghost Jake realizes that this weirdo is weird. She finally freaks out and says, "Stop touching me, you weirdo. Stop touching my feet." I guess he has a foot fetish. And then Audrey, she hallucinates her dead ex-girlfriend, who I guess Audrey helped have murdered, I guess. So yeah, that's some guilt for sure. She starts making out with her ghost girlfriend, go to the real time, and she's making out with Noah. Really? Did we need Audrey making out with Noah? Did we need that? Or how about the new girl, Zoe, coming up and is like, "Hey, let's have a threesome," or a three-way kiss, or whatever the fuck they were doing. It's like, okay, I get it, they're on drugs and everybody's all like hippied out and like, hey, let's all bone each other because we're all horny. But I didn't need that, and I didn't need the subplot that comes later on with all of this. But before I get there, Emma also hallucinates. She sees the little girl, who I guess is her, but she's hallucinating it. And so she follows her outside. She's in the woods. It turns into Nightmare on Elm Street because, again, she's hallucinating. She's seeing the little girl. I was waiting for the little girl to do the nursery rhyme and the sing-along and start jumping rope and stuff. If they had done that, I would have been for it. Why not? At this point, she sees the mass killer in the woods. And he's staring at her, and she's like, "You're not real, you're not real." And then he starts running at her. I mean, charging. Running like he's the T-1000 from Terminator 2. Just running full stream at her. She closes her eyes, she opens them, and he's gone. And she's like, "Whew, well that was close." And then he comes from the side, tries to stab her. She runs into her father, who was just creeping around in the woods, I guess watching the house or watching the party from a distance. Yeah, that's not creepy. So now the new sheriff is there questioning them, and even I have to agree with this sheriff that none of this is really making sense. Oh, Emma was attacked, supposedly, but nobody else saw it. Even when he was like, "Oh, did anybody see Emma get attacked?" Everybody was like, no, she's a crazy bitch. So anything that she says really doesn't make any sense. Even her dad was like, "Yeah, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about." But Emma is convinced that this was real. Mind you, we had set up that they all took drugs and that they all were hallucinating. And Emma saw her younger self right before she saw the killer. Why does she think that there's a real killer? Because, let's think about this. If she really was out there, and if there really was a killer, you're telling me that the real killer ran at her, and she just stood there and closed her eyes, and then what? The killer stopped running, ran off to the side, she opened her eyes, and then he tried to attack her from the side? Wouldn't he have just kept running at her and killed her? If you're telling me that that killer was really there, then this is all bullshit and this is stupid. If you're telling me that it was all an hallucination, then she's batshit crazy, which wouldn't surprise me. I did like that Audrey told the sheriff, so how about we talk about Weirdo, who's your son, that has all these drawings of us, and one of them is Bloody Emma. And he looks over at his son, and the son's like, "Oh, fuck, busted." But then you cut to the sheriff, the father, saying to him, "Oh, don't worry, son, I trust you, I believe you." What? You mean somebody just told you that your son has bloody drawings of the main victim, and you're not even going to investigate? I know it's his son, but come on, at least look at the shit. Because if you saw those pictures, there's no denying that type of proof. So then you cut to, I guess this is the next morning, and Emma's talking to Karen, and she's trying to get his advice on whether she's crazy or not, and Karen's pretty much like, yeah, bitch, you're crazy, you shouldn't have come back, go back to the hospital and leave. Okay, he didn't say it like that, but that's how I interpreted it, because I don't blame him. And then you see that the cousin is behind, like, the wall listening. This guy couldn't be any more weird. Later on, he's trying to talk to her and trying to say, oh, I understand you, I believe you, please, please. And she's like, fuck you. So then they're on the outs. Audrey and Noah goes up to her to talk to her about them making out and how weird that was. And Audrey, I liked her attitude about this. She didn't really give a fuck. She was like, dude, it was the drugs, whatever, it meant nothing. But go talk to your girl, because you two like each other, there's chemistry there, go deal with that. So then Noah goes up to talk to Zoe, and what does Zoe say? Oh, yeah, so you were making out with your gay friend, huh? You must like her. See you later. I'm sitting there like, what? I haven't really had much of an opinion on Zoe, because she's new, and I haven't really thought too much about her. But that moment where she just told Noah that, oh, you must like your friend, so we're done. It's like, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, everybody was on drugs and hallucinating. Hell, you made out with both of them and had them make out with each other. Now you're blaming him, or you're making him feel guilty for it? Fuck you. Why is every girl on this show, why are they all unlikable? Speaking of unlikable, Brooke then goes to weirdo number 2 in the auditorium, sits next to him, and apologizes for freaking out at him. Apologizes. Why? Why? We established how creepy he was, how weird he was. Even she acknowledged that he was weird and obsessed with them. But she's apologizing, and she says he's a good guy? Really? You think he's a good guy? And he's like, oh, well, maybe we should hang out sometime. And she's like, yeah, cool. I don't understand this. I don't understand Brooke anymore. I don't understand why every girl likes weirdos and creepy stalker fucks. But that's the thing. And so, I don't know, they're on stage announcing girls for a runner-up of something. I don't give a fuck what they're doing. But they drop down the sign, blood falls down, and Jake's dead body falls down. His intestines are hanging out. Blood's all over Brooke. It looks like Carrie almost. She screams. Everybody screams. And I will admit, that was a great ending. That was a great cliffhanger. But it was like the only good moment of the episode was the last 30 seconds. I had to sit through a bunch of bullshit to get that. Oh, God damn it. This show is so frustrating to watch. So frustrating. There's so much bullshit you have to get through to get something even halfway decent. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this episode? Am I being too harsh? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later. Please won't you save my desires on fire. Sometimes you need a little peace at home. I'm tired, so wired.